Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to SoulSpace podcast number 104.
Woohoo. 104.
New month, new topic. We're going to talk about pivoting this month.
Yes.
So exciting.
Yes.
We haven't really focused, we've talked about pivoting a lot,
Right.
but we haven't really focused on it for a topic. So there's so many different things you can do, and we're going to start with that today.
Yeah. Give you some more tools in your toolbox.
Yeah.
So as you're going throughout the
Mm-hmm.
year, you have tons of things that you can do to continue to move forward when you start to feel maybe a little bit stuck or like things aren't moving as fast as they were,
Yeah.
or you feel bored or things like that. So we're going to give you tons of things this month to
Yeah.
do
To
around
get you moving forward more,
that.
or when you feel stuck. Yeah.
Yeah. And today is going to be one that's super easy
Yeah.
and fun,
Yeah.
but who doesn't like that?
Right. Right. We try to do things that are super easy and fun so that you'll actually do them.
Yeah.
There's so many things you can do, and if you don't do them, they're not going to help you. It's like having, I don't know, spare battery and you still go to the store to buy one,
Right.
or whatever.
Right. Or you just sit there and stare at it
Right.
and go, why aren't you working it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the battery's sitting next to it. And you're like,
Right.
like next to your remote or something. And you're like, why isn't it working yet? And the battery is just sitting there. You didn't put it in.
Right.
You didn't use it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Good
that
analogy. Yeah.
that's a great analogy,
Yeah.
Tracy. I appreciate that one because
Yeah.
it's so true. We have all these tools or things that we know that we can do.
Right.
And sometimes we feel that like they're burdensome or you need something in order to do the thing. Well, in this case, you're going to need nothing to do the thing
Right.
besides
Yeah.
being able to still be conscious.
Exactly. And people can't do it for you either. You can't, like, we're coaches. You can't go to a coach and expect them to do all the work for you. We give you the tools to be able to do it.
And we assist you, we practice,
Yeah,
we
we
do all the
help you
things to
through
help you.
it, but you have to do the work. So, and we're guilty of it too at times.
Oh, of course. Or I
you know.
forget about things.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
having it in a new space and time, maybe you'll know how to do what we're talking about. But the thing about that is, have you used it recently?
Right.
Is another question. Did
Yeah.
you forget about it?
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, yeah, I completely forgot about it. I don't know
Mhm.
why I haven't used it before.
Yeah.
I do that all the time where I'll have something come up and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I want to start using that. Why have I not been using that?
Right. I do that too.
It helps me so much. What
Yeah.
am I thinking?
Yeah. And sometimes I'll just go through my coaching notebooks to see when we were getting certified,
Mhm.
what am I forgetting about that is good. So that's always a good thing. Keep notebooks. I'm a notebook hoarder, so
I keep notes in my phone
yeah.
organized by folder and topics.
She's
Because that's how
a little OCD. No,
Oh, a little bit.
not.
I'll be honest. I have some traits
Yeah.
and I am
I do
aware
too. I do
in
too.
different
But
aspects of
in
my life.
different things.
But sometimes it's very, very functional
It is.
for
I wish I
organization.
could be that way. I could be if I wanted to be, I
Could
guess.
be.
But
You drive
yeah.
yourself bonkers with it.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I don't need another thing like that. I already have too many. But yeah. Yeah. We all have our quirks,
We
right?
all do. And that's what's fun about it is we're all a little bit different, all a
Yeah.
little bit unique.
Yeah, it's fun.
Even if we have a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Life's an adventure.
It is.
Okay, so
Okay,
what
so
are we going to talk about?
we're going to talk about some fun stuff today. The first part is going to be about your current story
Yep.
and changing your current story.
Yeah.
Because that's a really big piece of pivoting. And we touched on that last week. So we thought we'd maybe bring a more full understanding to that from the book that we've been using for our Abundance Month,
Right.
which is Money and the Law of Attraction by Esther and Jerry Hicks. Such a fantastic book on all levels. Really lays things out in easy to understand, easy to do stuff. And I just love it. And it's laid out really nicely too, where it has section 1, section 2, section 3, section 4, 5, etc. But I thought we would start with this because it'll make a lot of sense as we rediscuss the information here for you. Something that's really interesting. And I really like the way that they put things in this book. Like I said, it makes it really easy to understand.
Yeah, it does. And it kind of is just continuing on with what we did last month. So it'll really help you put those things in perspective and to help you learn them more so you actually will use them for yourself.
And a little bit of the why.
Right.
Why would I do that?
Yeah.
Why would
Yeah.
I do any of the things that you guys talked about
Yeah.
last month?
Yeah. True.
So
Awesome.
we're going to start. If you guys do have this book, which I hope you do, but if you don't, I'm starting on page 3 in the beginning of the book here. And this section is entitled Your Story and the Law of Attraction. Okay. Each and every component that makes up your life experience is drawn to you by the powerful law of attraction's response to the thoughts you think and the story you tell about your life. Your money and financial assets, your body's state of wellness, clarity, flexibility, size, and shape, your work environment, how you are treated, work satisfaction and rewards. Indeed, the very happiness of your life experience in general is all happening because of the story that you tell. If you will let your dominant intention to be to revise and improve the content of the story you tell every day of your life, it is our absolute promise to you that your life will become that ever-improving story. For by the powerful law of attraction, it must be. And we did discuss that last week, about changing your story.
Yeah. Watch your words and talk about what you want instead of
what you don't want.
Is.
Complaining creates more complaining, creates more things to complain about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something to think about. I mean, sometimes I start to get pulled into that feeling of wanting to complain, and I'm like, oh, that's not a good feeling. I know where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
I don't want to find more things to complain about. That doesn't sound fun. Does life sometimes seem to be unfair? You have wanted more success and you have applied yourself well, doing everything that everyone said you should do. But the success you have been seeking has been slow to come. You tried very hard, especially at first, to learn all the right things, to be in the right places, to do the right things, to say the right things, but often things did not appear to be improving much at all. Earlier in your life, when you were first dipping your toe into the idea of achieving success, you found satisfaction in satisfying the expectations of the others who were laying out the rules for success. The teachers, parents, and mentors who surrounded you seemed confident and convincing as they laid out their rules for success. Always be on time. Always do your best. Remember to work hard. Always be honest. Strive for greatness. Go the extra mile. There's no gain without pain. And, most important, never give up. But over time, you're finding satisfaction from gaining the approval of those who laid out those rules waned as their principles of success, no matter how hard you tried, did not yield the promised results. And it was more disheartening still when you stood back to gain some perspective on the whole picture and realized that their principles were not, for the most part, bringing them real success either. And then, to make matters even worse, you began meeting others who clearly were not following those rules, who were achieving success apart from the formula that you had been so diligent to learn and apply. And so you found yourself asking, what's going on here? How can those who are working so hard be receiving so little, while those who seem to be working so little are achieving so much? My expensive education hasn't paid off at all, and yet that multimillionaire dropped out of high school. My father worked hard every day of his life, and yet our family had to borrow the money to pay for his funeral. Why doesn't my hard work pay off for me the way it is supposed to? Why do so few really get rich, while most of us struggle to barely get by? What am I missing? What do those financially successful people know that I don't know? That's a great question.
I love that. Yeah. Yeah. It's really all in your mindset, all in using these tools that we've learned and creating the life that you want and not worrying about all the other garbage.
Right. What are you putting out there?
Yeah.
What are you putting out is what you're getting back. 100%.
Yeah.
You want to do this next
Yep.
part? I think This is so relevant to so many of us.
Yeah.
We've all been through this. We've all asked these questions.
And we've all heard these things from the beginning. When we were growing up, you have to work hard, you have to, and not saying that we shouldn't work hard, we shouldn't be just lazy and sit on the couch and expect things to come to us.
That's boring.
Right.
That's boring anyway.
Yeah.
I don't like to be bored.
Right. Me either. And, but we have to know what we want for one thing and go after it and not let anything get in our way that, of our dreams. And know that we're worthy of it. So, we can have it. Doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. You can have whatever you want.
Right. And to be aligned with it, to feel it, to experience it, to enjoy it. And that's the thing, is the things that you're enjoying are the things that you're aligned with.
Yeah. Yeah. And we don't have to, everyone wants different things. We don't have to all want the same thing. You can want what you want.
You can
and
want
be happy with that. Yeah.
Right. And
It's
one of
awesome.
the big things I think to remember as we're going through this is that pushing through something that doesn't feel good.
Right.
Trying to push it to make something happen when it's not feeling right won't yield you the results that you want. And I think that's where a lot of people get to, like, I've been working and working. Well, it hasn't felt good to you to be working that hard either.
Yeah.
Which tells you that there's something off in the vibration of the whole situation.
Yeah.
And to take a step back and look at, okay, what is it that I'm doing?
Right. Yeah. If you're not aligned with it, it's not going to work no matter how hard you try, But if you're aligned with it, you can. And maybe it's just something you need to release, something little, like a subconscious thought that, we have to work hard for everything we have.
Right.
That might be just stuck in your subconscious. So you think that you have to, but really, if you let go and go with the flow a little more, it's going to come a lot easier.
And for a lot of people, that main block is that you're not worthy.
Yeah.
That you're not worthy of success, that you don't deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
And that like line of blocks that are all related to each other right there are most people's big block to success.
Yeah.
And that's where the free and release method really comes in to help with that.
Right.
But anyway, so we digress a little bit.
Yeah, sorry.
Things pop into our heads as we're reading this, that we just I have to tell you this.
That was important for people to hear again, probably. So, is doing your best is still not enough? When you are doing everything you can think of, truly trying your best to do what you have been told is supposed to bring you success, and success does not come, it's easy to feel defensive and eventually even angry at those who are displaying evidence of the success that you desire. You even find yourself sometimes condemning their success simply because it is too painful to watch them living this success that continues to elude you. And it is for this reason, in response to your chronic condition in the financial affairs of your culture, that we offer this book. When you come to the place of openly condemning the financial success that you crave, not only can that financial success never come to you, but you are also fortifying your God-given rights to your health and happiness as well. And that one is important to talk about. There's so many people that say, oh, he's filthy rich, so, he's not a good person. Or, somebody has lots of money and, well, they didn't have to work for it because they inherited it or whatever. That's telling your subconscious mind that money isn't good, that you don't deserve it, that, everybody that's rich is an asshole, whatever.
Right. And since you're not one, you can't have it.
Right.
That's what you're telling yourself with those thoughts.
Yeah. Even though you're not speaking of yourself, you can't have that if you have those thoughts in your mind. And there are so many wealthy people that do so much good for the world.
And they're wonderful humans.
And do so much good for people, so don't think that way. And when you think that way, that's what you're bringing to you. You're meeting the people that are, wealth enhances whoever you are, whether you're a jerk or whether you're a good person.
Right.
So if you're a good person and you're seeking wealth, you're going to do good with that money. If you're truly a jerk, you're going to be a jerk with that money. You know, you're going to be whatever, but know that. And when those thoughts come to your mind, oh, you know, that guy's whatever, or she's all full of herself because she has money or whatever, you know, switch those thoughts around and think, I can have that money and be good with it. You know, I can have that and still be good. So
Right. And a lot of people, one of the things that they want money for is that stability so they can do the things that they love.
yeah.
And a lot of people that are seeking that are people that want to serve others, want to help people, want to lift everybody up with them.
Right.
And so imagine you being that person.
Yeah.
With the abundance available to you to be able to do that work and lift other people up and spend the money in all the ways that you know would be helpful for the world because you've lived, you know, some of the things that you want to help others with.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like you said, it just exponentially increases who you are.
Yeah.
And allows you to send that out to the world in a more powerful way. And what better thing could money be? That, I mean, it's an energy that exponentially creates. Isn't that fun?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah, right. Okay. Many actually come to the incorrect conclusion that others in their physical environment have banded together in some sort of conspiracy to keep them from succeeding. And sometimes it feels like that when you're going down that slope, you know, but you have to know that it's really your attitude and your previous thoughts that have got you there.
Right. And that the energy that you were putting out, that vibration created all of these things that are in your current reality.
Yeah. And it's things from before, not the here and now. So for they believe with all of their heart that they have done everything possible to achieve success. And the fact that it has not come must surely mean that there are some unfriendly forces at work that are depriving them of what they desire. Well, right there, you're kind of in a victim mentality, right? And you have to remember that we're 100% responsible for everything that happens to us. So, but we want to assure you that nothing like that is at the heart of the absence of what you desire or of the presence of things you would like to remove from your experience. No one ever has or ever could have prevented your success or provided it. Your success is all up to you. It is all in your control. And we are writing this book so that now, finally, once and for all time, your success can be in your deliberate and conscious control. I love that piece.
Well, and here's the thing. When we say that you are the creator of your reality, we mean that in a way to empower you.
Right.
To let you know, okay, am I getting what I want? No. But have I just been creating by default and expecting things and they're just happening to me? Or have I been working to consciously create and change my story to what I want it to be?
Yeah.
And that's your responsibility. That's your piece. That's on you to begin to do.
Yeah.
Not to say that some of that old energy won't continue on for a while, but as you continue to change your story, as you continue to consciously focus on creating your reality, you will begin to see those changes. They will maybe even be small at first, and you'll just see like little bits and pieces that tell you you're on the right track, and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It's like the snowball effect.
Yeah.
When you start rolling down the hill, that snowball keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You start seeing bigger and bigger and bigger and more consistent results. But it's a practice.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. Life is a practice. You know, we're learning every day. And I was just talking with a client this week about this. You know, as we age, that wisdom means a lot. I mean, you learn things along your life and you change because of that wisdom and because of those things that you've learned. So experience does count for something. And no matter how old you are, you're learning things along the way. So don't discount those things and learn from them and let that make you a better person. So it's really cool when you think about that, all the lessons you've learned in your life, no matter how old you are. And let that continue. And we're going to learn till the day we die.
Right.
You're not going to just sit stagnant, at least most people. You shouldn't anyway. You should enjoy life and want to learn more things and be on an adventure. It's awesome.
Right. And here's the thing, a lot of people want to be on an adventure.
Yeah.
There's nothing stopping you but you thinking that you're not, or that you can't be on one.
Yeah.
And every day can be an adventure. Today was another adventure driving in.
Yeah.
It always is, but it was not quite the negative experience it was last week driving it around the same time.
Yeah.
Because I knew I didn't want that again.
Yeah.
I learned from the first time.
Right.
Like, oh, I know where this is going to be. I know what it's going to look like. I know what kind of traffic is going to be there. And I know how long it is. And that knowing kind of helped me to prepare myself for it, where I'm like, okay, I'm just going to turn on my music. I'm going to jam out. And we're all gonna get there together.
Yeah. 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 Whether you're crabby or happy, it doesn't matter. You're still gonna get there. So you might as well be happy doing it, right?
Exactly. And I was thinking about all the fun things that I'm going to be doing today and all of that and podcast. And so, it is about your attitude. What vibration are you putting out there?
Yeah.
And for me, as I was coming in, it was such a better experience overall. And the traffic was lighter, and there weren't as many people, and people weren't crazy, and even in traffic, it was a much better experience because I had pre-paved that experience, because I consciously created that I wanted to have a good drive in, despite the fact that road construction is half my drive now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what summer is.
That's summer. Yeah. We
area.
really have 2 seasons, winter and construction.
Right. And I thought to myself, you know what, I really appreciate that they're doing that construction on the road.
Right.
Because
our roads are terrible this year.
Because our roads have gotten rough.
Yeah.
And, having been to other countries where they don't take care of the roads, where they don't spend the money on that, made me really appreciate our road construction season, because our roads are safe.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
We have nice roads for sure.
We do.
Yeah.
And so I appreciated that. So when I was driving home the other day, I think on Tuesday, because today's Thursday, we're doing it a little early because I'm going to be out of town next week on the Tuesday when we're actually going to post this. But when I was driving home, I just kind of was thinking about that, and I was thinking, I really appreciate that we have road construction, because that keeps our roads a lot safer.
I was thinking about that yesterday too. Because where I was driving, they have big chunks taken out of the roads, and you have to go on one lane. And my granddaughter said, "Why are they doing this? The road wasn't bad." And I said, "Yeah, there's sometimes big chunks that fall out, come out in the spring. So then they have to take out a bigger patch so they can fix it." And okay, and that made her feel better about it too. It's like, okay, that they have to make them good in bigger spots so it doesn't keep breaking out. Okay, that made sense to her. So
with the winter and the ice and the expanding and contracting and the shifting soil that we have in our area, I think it's brilliant. And then I also appreciated the people that are willing to do that work, because it's not
hard
easy work. It's hard work.
And
I was like, wow, I really appreciate that there are people that want to do that work and that are willing to do that work, because it's so needed. I started doing something that we're going to do a little bit later.
That's awesome.
All right, so this next part is called "Whatever I Can Desire, I Can Achieve."
I love this.
Me too. I already feel really happy reading it. It is time for you to return to the true nature of your being and to consciously live the success that the experiencing of your own life has helped you to determine that you desire. And so, as you deliberately relax right now, breathing deeply and steadily, You will begin to gradually but surely remember how all success comes, for you already inherently understand it. And so you will certainly feel resonance with these absolute truths as you read about them here. The eternal laws of the universe are consistent and reliable and steadily hold, always, the promise of expansion and joy. They are being presented to you here in a powerful rhythm of understanding that will start small within you and then expand with each page you read until you reawaken into the knowledge of your purpose and your own personal power as you remember how to access the power of the universe that creates worlds. If this time-space reality has within it the ability to inspire a desire within you, it is absolute that this time-space reality has the ability to yield to you a full and satisfying manifestation of that same desire. It is law.
So good.
It's so good. And that just it just lays it all out there.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we have to remember that it's in our control. It's our thoughts that are creating the things. So, just keeping that in mind and knowing when you're getting off track, checking in like we talked about all month last month, check in with yourself and notice when that's going on and pivot it out.
Right. Right. And with the amount of momentum you have probably in one direction,
Yeah.
it might take a little bit of time for you to see the manifestation of your pivoting. Some people say, I've been doing so good today. I've been in such a good mood and this happened.
Yeah.
Right. But here's the thing, that's old energy. And that needs to continue to pass as you continue to improve your story.
Yeah.
And so some people are like, but I was doing so good, but then this. Okay, well, did you make a mountain or a molehill out of it?
Right.
One, did you look for the solutions to the problem or did you stay in the problem?
Yeah.
Did you continue on your positive momentum to continue to improve your story or did you get knocked all the way off the horse with that one thing that happened?
Right.
Because like today is an example of one of the things for me is I just had my power steering fixed on my vehicle. And when I got in it today, I heard some noise in the steering. And I was like, uh-oh. And then I was driving here and it continued to get worse. And then I stopped at a store on the way and there's a big puddle.
Oh no.
Underneath my car.
Oh no.
And I was like, yep, I need some power steering fluid. So then I was like, well, I better go get some so I can drive home. So then I stopped at an auto parts store and I grabbed that and I'll fill it up before I leave. So then I have some to get me home.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow I'll bring it to the person that was working on it because maybe like the hose just popped off because they replaced the hose or, something like that. Maybe the pressure was too much or whatever.
Yeah.
But, I didn't get really mad about it. I just said, oh, well, what am I going to do about it?
You looked for the solution.
Right. I didn't go, oh, poor me. Oh my gosh, I get so mad about all. No, I said, okay, well, what am I going to do about it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And what I was like, well, I know that if I fill it up, it'll be enough to get me home because I got here.
Yeah.
And then, the place to get it fixed isn't that far away. So, it's all whatever. It all is working out for me. It's all going to be fine.
Right.
And I didn't make a mountain like it could have out of that molehill. Right. I could have called and berated the person. I could have called my husband and complained about it. I could have called you and complained about it. I could have complained about it to everybody in the store. No, I didn't do that. What I did was go, okay, well, this happened. It's already happening. There's nothing I can do about it in the moment besides look for the solution. Well, the solution is get enough fluid to get myself home. Right. So that I can drive it to the guy. Yeah. So I'm not staying in the problem. I'm saying, okay, well, how can I begin to solve this problem? Yeah. What is out there available to me to help me to continue to move forward in the story of, well, my car needs to be functioning. Yeah. You pivoted out of that problem energy into the solution energy. Right. And I did it immediately because I didn't get mad about it. Right. I didn't continue the upsetness of it. I would go, oh crap. Well, yeah. Well, okay, this is happening. Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't do any good to get mad about it. And because there's a solution. So move forward. Right. There's a solution to everything. Right. They're boundless. Yeah. Innumerable. Yeah. solutions to every problem.
Right.
You can't always see all of them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the universe has them available to you.
Yeah.
And so allowing yourself to be in that space of, okay, this is happening. All right. Well, what do I see that are the available solutions? If I can't find one, maybe I need to get in touch with my guidance and start to move forward so that I can see that solution, or it can come to me.
Yeah.
Sometimes they even just come to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything is figure outable.
Everything is figure outable. 100%.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, I'll read this next part because that was really short. I have not read that book.
It's good. I have it if you want to read it.
Thanks. That sounds really fun, actually. I kind of want to read it now. All right, so this next little section, so these ones are kind of short. To achieve success is my natural birthright.
Yeah.
That kind of feels good to say. Say that to yourself.
Yeah.
Once.
To achieve success is my natural birthright.
It feels good to say it.
Doesn't that feel good in your body? Doesn't that lift you up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel good. Like I want to smile when I say that. And for me, when I feel good like that and I feel that resonance of it, I know that's my personal truth. I know that's what my soul thinks about that situation. Most people naturally assume that if their life is not going the way they want it to go, something outside of themselves must be preventing the improvement. For no one would deliberately hold their own success away. But while pointing the blame at others may feel better than assuming responsibility for unwanted conditions, there is a very big negative repercussion to believing that something outside of you is the reason for your own lack of success. When you give the credit or the blame to another for your success or lack of it, you are powerless to make any change. And I think that's a really key piece of this, is that this is to empower you.
Yeah.
This is about empowering you to know that you can take charge of your own life now.
Right. Yeah.
You don't have to wait for something else to change. You don't have to wait for somebody to give you permission. You don't have to wait for anything, because you are the deliberate creator of your life. And I find that to be so empowering. Like, okay, if it's not going the way that I want, I have tools to change that.
Right. Yeah, that's important to remember. You know, you're the one in control of it. I feel like I've said that 100 times today, but it's true. You know, you're the one that can pivot out of there and get to a better place. You can change that momentum just by feeling good, just by looking, you know, going for a walk or taking a break or meditating or anything to get your mind in a better spot.
Right. Right. And it might change things immediately, or it might take just a little bit of time.
Right.
But you're starting in that moment and you're moving it forward now.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know you're doing what you can do to get yourself out of that. A little story I have about that. A friend of mine was in the midst of the wildfires of this spring, and they were supposed to be on alert for evacuation, and her family was, you know, gathering things to take with them in case they had to leave. And she said, I'm going to go meditate. And that was, it helped calm the whole situation for them. And it was just, you know, she knew she could do that to help the energy around her.
Right.
And it did. And they didn't have to ever evacuate. And it was, you know, she knew that's what she could do to control her situation and to lighten up that feeling of angst and like that things were out of their control. They weren't. They could do what they could do to get in a better place. So yeah. So sometimes that's all it takes is a little time, you know, getting it within, going within for just a couple minutes. It doesn't have to be forever. You know, you can't say, oh, I don't have half hour to meditate right now. I got to do this. Take 2 minutes, take 5 minutes, whatever you can.
Do have that minute or two to
just control the situation.
Just breathe.
Just breathe. Yeah. So it's amazing when you learn how to use the tools, really is.
Right.
Mhm.
You know, and that's something you always have control of, is your own vibration in any given situation.
Mhm.
The way that you feel in any given situation, the way that you respond
Mhm.
in any given situation.
Yeah.
And that is in your control.
Mhm.
You know, nothing makes you feel a certain way. You might have
Right.
things and you respond in a certain way,
Mhm.
but you can change that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can change that.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you desire success, but from your perspective, you are not currently experiencing it, at many deep levels of your being, you recognize that something is wrong. And as this strong feeling of personal discord magnifies your awareness that you are not getting what you want, it often sets into motion other counterproductive assumptions that evoke jealousy toward those who are having more success, resentment at a myriad of people you would like to blame for your lack of success, or even self denigration, which is the most painful and counterproductive assumption of
Mhm.
all. And we submit that this uncomfortable upheaval is not only normal, but it is the perfect response to your feeling of lack of success.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean,
That's juicy.
That's human.
Yeah.
Your emotional discomfort is a powerful indicator that something is very wrong. You are meant to succeed, and failure should feel bad to you. You are meant to be well, and sickness should not be accepted. You are supposed to expand, and stagnation is intolerable. Life is supposed to go well for you, and when it does not, there is something wrong. But what is wrong is not that an injustice has occurred, or that the gods of good fortune are not focusing on you, or that someone else has received the success that should have been yours. What is wrong is that you are out of harmony with your own being, with who you really are, with what life has caused you to ask for, with what you have expanded to, and with the ever consistent laws of the universe. What is wrong is not something that is outside of you, over which you have no control. What is wrong is within you, and you do have control. And taking control is not difficult to do once you understand the basis of who you are and the basics of the law of attraction and the value of your own personal emotional guidance system that you were born with, which is always active, ever present, and easy to understand.
That's really good.
That's a juicy section, as you put it.
Yeah, it is.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
You know, and we talk about checking in with yourself,
Right.
using your emotions
Yeah.
to tell you where you're
Mhm.
at, so you can know, do I need to pivot or not?
Yeah. Yeah, and remember, you don't have to go from here to here.
You
Just
could,
little steps. Yeah.
because it's not sustainable to
Right.
jump from depression to joy,
Yeah.
but it is to go from joy, or from depression to anger, and anger
Yeah.
to annoyance, and annoyance to
Mhm.
stagnation, and stagnation to boredom, and boredom to okay.
Right.
Right. So as you take those steps up, it might even take you only, a couple minutes to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But if you rise yourself up and you allow yourself to slowly
Mhm.
move up that emotional scale, that will help you to raise your vibration
Yeah.
back to where you want it to be.
Yeah.
But paying attention is key. If you're not paying attention to how you
Right.
feel and how things are going around you, then you're just like do throughout life, and you're not creating in that moment. You're not
not
moving
paying
yourself
attention.
deliberately.
Yeah. 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 So good.
I like it.
Okay. Is this our last one? Maybe.
So this is I think this one or the next one is the last one.
Okay. Money is not the root of evil or of happiness. We've talked about this today already, but this important subject of money and financial success is not the root of all evil, as many have quoted, nor is it the path to happiness. However, because the subject of money touches most of you in one way or another, hundreds or even thousands of times in every day, it is a large factor in your vibrational makeup and in your personal point of attraction. So when you are able to successfully control something that affects most of you all day, every day, you will have accomplished something rather significant. In other words, because such a high percentage of your thoughts in any given day reside around the topic of money or financial success, As soon as you are able to deliberately guide your thoughts, not only is it certain that your financial success must improve, but the evidence of that success will then prepare you for deliberate improvement in every aspect of your life experience. That's so good.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a student of deliberate creation, if you want to continuously create your own reality, if you desire control of your own life experience, if you want to fulfill your reason for being, then your understanding of these prevalent topics, money and the law of attraction, will serve you enormously well. So good.
That's a great section.
Yeah.
I think this was the last piece.
Okay.
And then we'll do our fun exercise we're gonna all do together today.
Yeah. Awesome.
I am the attractor of my every experience. You are meant to live in an expansive, exhilarating, good-feeling experience. It was your plan when you made the decision to become focused in your physical body in this time-space reality. You expected this physical life to be exciting and rewarding. In other words, you knew that the variety and contrast would stimulate you to expanded desires, and you also knew that any and all of those desires would be fully and easily realized by you. You knew also that there would be no end to the expansion of new desires. You came into your body full of excitement about the possibilities that this life experience would inspire, and that desire that you held in the beginning was not muted at all by trepidation or doubt. For you knew the power, and you knew that this life, you knew your power, and you knew that this life experience and all of its contrasts would be the fertile ground for wonderful expansion. Most of all, you knew that you were coming into this life experience with a guidance system to help you remain true to your original intent, as well as to your never-ending amended intentions that would be born out of this very life experience. In short, you felt an eagerness for this time-space reality that nearly defies physical description. And your guidance system is your emotional guidance system, and we touched on that.
Yeah.
You were not a beginner, even though you were newly beginning in your wee small physical body, but instead you were a powerful creative genius, newly focusing in a new leading edge environment. You knew that there would be a time of adjustment while redefining a new platform from which you would begin your process of deliberate creating, and you were not the least bit worried about that time of adjustment. In fact, you rather enjoyed the nest into which you were born and those who were there to greet you into your new physical environment. And while you could not yet speak the language of their words, and although you were perceived by those who greeted you as new and unknowing and in need of their guidance, you possessed a stability and a knowing that most of them had left long behind. You were born knowing that you are a powerful being, that you are good, that you are the creator of your experience, and that the law of attraction is the basis of all creation here in your new environment. You remembered then that the law of attraction, the essence of that which is like unto itself is drawn, so like attracts like, is the basis of the universe. And you knew that it would serve you well, and so it has. You were still remembering that you are the creator of your own experience. But even more important, you remembered that you do it through your thought, not your action. You were not uncomfortable being a small infant who offered no action or words, for you remembered the well-being of the universe. You remembered your intentions in coming forth into your physical body, and you knew that there would be plenty of time for acclimating to the language and the ways of your new environment. And most of all, you knew that even though you would not be able to translate your vast knowledge into your non-physical environment directly into physical words and descriptions, it would not matter. For the most important things to set you on a path of joyful creation were already emphatically in place. You knew that the law of attraction was consistently present and that your guidance system was immediately active. And most of all, you knew that by trial and what you may call error, you would eventually become completely and consistently reoriented into your new environment.
So good. Yeah. Um, I was thinking about my granddaughter who is just learning how to walk during that. They're so determined and they know they're gonna walk.
Right. There isn't any doubt.
Yeah. And she'll wobble and fall down and get back up again. And when she was first starting out, she would scoot on her butt. And then she'd get sick of doing that, crawl a little bit, sick of doing that, and she'd stand up and walk a few steps. So they know innately what they want and they're going to get there. Now she's walking pretty much all the time. And it's so cool to see that and to see that, they don't care how many times they fall down. They're going to get up and walk. And we need to remember that and know that it's the same for us. No matter what we're doing, if you stumble, just get up and do it again. It doesn't matter how many times it takes. Eventually you're gonna get what you want.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
And infants and children, they trust that the universe will provide for them. And it does.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All of us that are watching this podcast, listening to this right now, have survived childhood or infancy.
Right.
We knew that we would be provided for.
Yeah.
Even if times it seemed like maybe we wouldn't be. We always made it through.
Yeah.
We always moved forward.
Yeah.
And it always improved. Right? And so that's something to remember, that as children, we knew that. The children, we knew everything was working out for us.
Yeah.
And when you watch children and their absolute confidence in everything that they do, that shows you that they trust completely in the universe to provide, that they trust completely in their own internal guidance system to lead them in the right direction. When I'm thinking about this, a story comes to mind, and this is a true story. There was a young boy, and him and his family, they were out in the wilderness somewhere doing like a little day trip, and they were out and they were looking at things and they were out in the forest, and he got separated from his family. And he was, how old was he? I think he was about 5 at the time. So just think kindergarten or a little bit younger, 4 or 5.
I have a grandson that's 5.
Yeah, 4 or 5. So super young, right? Just older than a toddler.
Right.
And he got separated from his family. And so he didn't really know where they were or whatever. And they were out searching for him. They couldn't find him or anything. And he was just gone. He was just lost. And he started walking. And he's like, I didn't really know if I was going in the right direction or where to go or what things looked like or where, we had gone from our home or whatever. And he just started walking. And he said as he went, he just walked until it felt like he was, going the right direction. And if he felt like he wasn't, then he turned. And then he went in that direction. He went in the direction that felt right to him. And that kid walked, I don't know, 18 miles.
Wow.
In the right direction. Just following his own internal guidance. He said at one point he was walking on a road and it came to a fork. And he started going down one way and he was walking for a little bit and he goes, no, this isn't the right way. And he just felt it. So he turned around and he went back and he went the other way. Well, guess which way was the right way?
The other way.
The other way.
That's awesome.
And he just followed it and he made it almost home.
Wow.
I think he made it to a neighbor's house that was maybe a mile or 2 from his parents' house.
Wow.
And he had no idea. I mean, 4 or 5, you think about that age, they don't know where you drove. They're not paying attention to direction, and they don't know east, west, north, south, or where the sun is. They don't know any of that.
Yeah.
He made it almost home, and he obviously stopped somewhere and knocked, and they called, and they were able to get all of his parents and stuff. Just by following his own internal guidance, just by feeling it out. And it's an example of what we talk about every week. If a child can do it, you can do it.
Right.
Because you were that child.
Yeah. A lot of times we just need to go back to our instincts.
Mhm.
You know, go back to go within is important. You know,
It really is.
that's really where we need to be, going within. And
That's the
and
key, not
yeah.
following what everybody else is
Right.
telling you to do,
Yeah.
not paying attention to what all the outside factors are. It's all about, what does it say inside of you?
Mhm.
What do you hear from your own guidance? What do you feel in
Yeah.
your own guidance? And
Yeah.
then following from that, inspired
Mhm.
action.
Yeah.
That's the basis of all of this. That's the basis of what we teach
Yeah.
you. And we just teach you ways to more and more effectively do that.
Yeah. Yeah. There's tools that can make it easier for you to get back there, because we've probably lived all these years with forgetting about that, forgetting that we can do that. So remember, we're here to help you remember
Yes.
where you came from, where you are, where you can
Yes.
be.
Because it's a
Yeah.
constant process for us as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody's perfect. It's a practice always, no matter how good you get. Even people that have achieved their wildest dreams, they make new ones so
Mhm.
that they can go even
There's
further.
still more. There's
Yeah.
always more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the adventure of life.
Yeah, it really is. So let's do our little playtime.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah.
And I know Tracy loves it too.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that Abraham, who Esther Hicks channels,
Mhm.
Abraham, talks about is the rampage of appreciation. And this is one of my favorite techniques because it always lifts me up. I always feel better.
Yeah.
And it always creates improved circumstances.
Mhm.
So when we're talking about the emotional scale, right? At the top of that scale is joy and love.
Mhm.
And right almost parallel with it is appreciation.
Yeah.
And so if you can find things to appreciate and feel that appreciation and feel that vibration of appreciation, that immediately sets you into that vibration of what we like to call the receiving mode,
Mhm.
of allowing those good things that you've asked for to finally make their way to you.
Yeah.
And appreciation feels good, and it feels like joy, and it feels like love because you're appreciating all the things around you, everything around you, all the people around you, all the things around you. And it's really fun to do.
Mhm.
And this is one of the ways that I improve my traffic experiences, because if you've been watching us at all, you know that Carissa does not appreciate a lot of traffic. But I can always find things to appreciate when I'm in those situations, and that always causes improvement because traffic is ever flowing and moving and ebbing.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things is like if energy is flowing, you can often see immediate improved circumstances by using this technique. And I love it because I always feel better.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to feel better? We all do. We all
Yeah.
want to feel happiness and appreciation and enjoy our lives.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's what people
That's
want
why we're
things
here.
for.
Yeah.
It's like they want to feel happier.
Mhm.
So here's a tool to do that.
Yeah.
Rampage of appreciation.
Yes.
And so when you do this technique, you can simply look for things around you physically first. A lot of people kind of like, well, what do I even start with?
Yeah.
If something pops to mind right away, start with that and just go with the flow.
Yeah.
If you're struggling to find something, just start looking for things around you.
Yeah.
So like an example would be this rose quartz. I love rose quartz. I appreciate rose quartz. It always feels so good when I hold it. I feel peaceful and I feel that loving energy. I love rose quartz. I so appreciate that we have all these beautiful rocks in our environment all the time. I appreciate that Tracy used to run the rock shop because not only do we have beautiful rocks to love and appreciate from that, we met through that experience.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that, like above all things.
Yeah.
Right? So you can you start rolling down the hill and you start finding more and more and more things to appreciate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I do it a lot when I'm driving too. You know, I am famous for hitting green lights.
Yeah.
I love it. And I always say thank you when I go through them. And oh, I appreciate this flow of traffic. I'm getting all the way down Cheyenne or all the way down Main Avenue, and I have hit every green light all the way down. And if you appreciate that and just keep it going, it feels so good. I'm at my destination and I found a perfect parking spot right by the cart corral, and not too far from the entrance. Or it's a beautiful day and I found this spot so I can walk and enjoy the sun till I get to the door. And I love doing it when I go for a walk too. Oh, I can smell that somebody's mowing their lawn today. I can feel the sunshine. I appreciate that so much. I appreciate the laughter and the batting cage and the sound of the bat hitting the cage, because I live by a park and walk that park. And I love the sounds of children laughing when I'm walking through the park. And you just keep going, everything as you're going along. Just notice things. I love my cup of coffee today. I put a little bit of cream and cinnamon and cardamom in there. Tastes so good.
I appreciate a great cup of coffee.
Yeah, it's just fun to just start at it. And if you're in a slump, and even if you're not, it levels up your day by just doing that, appreciating the things around you, appreciating all the fun things.
Right.
So
right.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll just keep doing one. We'll just start one, and maybe we'll just do a little back and forth.
Sure.
And you guys can kind of do your own on your own if you want, or you can listen to the one that we do. Maybe you'll have some things that are similar.
Yeah.
That you'll appreciate.
Yeah.
So I can start with my car because things have been going up and down with that. Well, I appreciate my car still running. It feels really good to have my car still get me from A to B, even if there's something a little funky with it.
Yeah.
I appreciate that I had a solution today to go get some fluid for my car so that it can get me home. I appreciate that my car holds so much because I just brought a whole bunch of stuff to the office that I'm kind of excited about. Yeah. I so appreciate that we have this beautiful office space that's perfect for us, where we each have our own space. I appreciate that. I appreciate we have this big space to do little group things and do our little classes that we love to do.
Yeah.
I appreciate that we have the space to do our podcast every week. I appreciate it's on the first floor because we wanted that for so long.
Yes.
And it feels so good to be on the first floor, and it's accessible. So if somebody needs to come down in a wheelchair, they can come and they can visit us. And it makes it so easy. You don't have to do any stairs. I appreciate that people don't have to do the stairs to come see us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I appreciate that it's such a warm and welcoming environment in here and feels so good every time that we enter. I appreciate that we have so much knowledge that we get to share with other people, and that brings us so much joy. I appreciate that we each have our own strengths that we bring to our own businesses, and we get to bounce off of each other and enjoy each other's work.
Yeah.
Your turn.
Yeah. I appreciate the building that we're in, and that we have fun neighbors that do kind of the same work that we can coordinate with sometimes. And I appreciate our fun colors and fun decor in our office. I appreciate that we have a coffee and hot water tea pot and we have good beverages anytime we want when we're here.
So true.
I appreciate that I only live like 1 minute away, or 2 minutes, maybe 3. But if traffic's good, I can get home quickly if I want. I can get here quickly. I appreciate that there's a nice little farmer's market greenhouse thing just down the road. That have you ever stopped there? It's
really I have good. Not, but now I'm gonna have to.
Yeah. I appreciate that I live and our office is in a cool little part of town, and it has a small town feel in a bigger city. Big, not big for a lot of places, but big for our state, I guess. I appreciate that the grass right now is so lush and the trees are lush. We've had a lot of rain and it's not a drought anymore, and it's just a beautiful start to our summer.
Yeah. My trees are so happy.
Yeah. Plants are good right now. I was appreciating this tablecloth earlier.
It's such a fun tablecloth. It really is.
And I've been painting a lot lately, so I'm appreciating the colors that are in it, and that they're cool colors that sometimes you wouldn't think to put together, but they look awesome on here. So I was appreciating that earlier. Yeah, it's fun. Do you have any more?
Well, I could go on.
Yeah.
I appreciate that we have so much good knowledge that has come to us from Esther and Jerry Hicks. What beautiful work that they do to help all of us on our path to really bolster us all. And isn't it beautiful that we have ways that we can share with other people that knowledge, not just the knowledge that has been shared with us, but also share our own experiences to help other people along their path. And isn't it fun, and don't I hugely appreciate that we have the internet to share out, and we can all learn from each other. And YouTube in particular is wonderful because I can go on YouTube and learn almost anything that I need to learn how to do, so I can do it for myself. And I appreciate that so much, because I just tell my husband, he's like, I don't know how to do this. I was like, well, maybe you should go on YouTube. Oh yeah, I didn't think of that. Well, isn't that wonderful? We have this thing called the internet now. It really is delightful. You know, the internet has all sides to it, but I can appreciate the things that it helps me with in my own life
all the time. I always say, if somebody doesn't know something, Google knows it.
It's like, maybe Google know.
And a lot of times it's a YouTube video that comes up. So yeah, it's so cool to be able to appreciate technology. I love it.
As my sister says, and I have a shirt that says this if you want it. The googs and the tubes know all.
The googs and the tubes. That's for sure. Yeah. So just try this. Do a rampage of appreciation when you're out walking, when you're driving, when you're just sitting around, just start appreciating. Whether you're in a slump and not feeling good. Oh, but I appreciate a good cup of coffee, or I appreciate that I have access to hot water and I can make some bouillon or some broth, or I have access to the foods that can help me feel better, feel well. I have access to herbs and organic foods if I want. Whatever it is, you can appreciate those things. And sometimes we take them for granted. I appreciate that I got to grow up and have a huge lake at my access anytime I wanted, anything like that. Just be appreciative of those things, and start noticing, oh wow, I do appreciate this little car that I have that goes like crazy if I step on the gas, and anything, just appreciate and notice those things that make your life easier, and you'll just start noticing a momentum going forward.
Because the more that you look for things to appreciate, the more things that can be appreciated will be attracted to you by the law of attraction. So as you appreciate, the universe goes, oh, you want things to appreciate? Here you go, and here you go, and here you go, and here you go, and here you go. And that's what creates that momentum, that snowball effect.
Absolutely.
And it's an easy way to do it. You don't need any equipment. All you need to be is conscious, not sleeping. And be able to think of thoughts. That's all you need for that. That's all you need for that. And anyone can do that is watching this right now. They can appreciate things in their mind. You don't have to say it out loud. Just say it in your mind. That's what I do. I just say it in my mind. I don't say it out loud most of the time. Unless we're doing something like this.
So good.
I think I'm letting some stuff go today.
I know. I was yawning a little bit ago too. It's and that's something, remember to notice when you yawn or cough or sneeze and you're listening to something like this. A lot of times that's your body letting go of those blocks that are in your cellular memory. So
Right. You
allow
said, I
that to
want,
go.
I want this. I want more abundance. I want to
Mhm.
connect with that. And your body's like, okay, well, we can start to let go some of the stuff that's in the way of that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome. All right. Let's wrap it up for today. Carissa, where can we find you on the wonderful world of the internet?
Internet that we appreciate.
Yeah.
You can find me on Facebook at
Yeah.
Light of Hope Healing. That's probably the easiest way to find me. You can also find me in my Square site, which is light-of-hope-healing.square.site. Light of Hope Healing with a bunch of dashes in between it, .square.site, which you can also find on my Facebook page, which is Light of Hope Healing. Easy, right?
Yeah. Just
You know. We're also on Facebook together at Our SoulSpace.
Yeah.
And on YouTube is our podcast, which is SoulSpace Podcast.
Yeah.
So just at SoulSpace Podcast. Nothing before, nothing after.
Yeah.
What about you, Miss Tracy?
I am at inspiredsignals.com. All my links are there for everything, my favorite things, and my links to my pages. But I'm on Facebook and Instagram at Inspired Signals and at Inspired Signals Studio. You can find my artsy stuff on the studio pages and my other stuff on my
Have you shared your newest painting out yet?
My what?
Your newest painting. Have you shared it out yet?
I did. It's on my Facebook page. Yes.
So check out Inspired Signal Studio.
Yeah.
So check out Inspired Signal Studio. She painted something that's so amazing. You have to see it. So go check it out.
I like funky things, and there's a little funky bird on there.
Yeah, you just look at it and it makes you smile.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Somebody commented on there, oh, did you see me when I was leaving work today? I look just like that. Yeah, it's funny. But yeah, I like to make people smile, so I like to do some funky art.
Yeah, your art is so fun. I love it. I told you need to start doing prints so we can all have it.
I do need to do prints, and I have done some like bookmarks and cups and stuff with my stuff on there. So yes. I will continue to create some fun things.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. So look us up. Comment if you like what we're doing. If you have suggestions and want to learn something, let us know.
Or if you have questions we want to know, we can always try to answer them too in our podcast.
Yeah. We'll see you next week. Have a great week. Bye-bye.